They say no good deed goes unpunished. And tonight, one Detroit mother says no one knows that better than her.
She says sloppy work by Detroit police and a social media post like this one turned her life upside down.
Tonight, 7 investigator Ronch Jones is revealing everything that went wrong.
We've given too much power to people to have this much control to just ruin your life and have no care.
What happened to Sandra Wilson cost her job, her dignity, and for a time her freedom. On June 16th, she was visiting this gas station across the street from her apartment, where she's a regular.
I go there all the time, before work, after work.
So often, in fact, she knows that from door to door, it's
167 steps to and from.
She usually stops in to buy coffee, but on this night, it was cigarettes. That's Sandra in the blue dress, and those two other women inside, they're important to this story too. The one leaving in the blue jeans just made a purchase and walks out just as Sandra is walking in. She's second in line, behind the woman at the counter in pink pants. Sandra waits, but as the woman in pink finishes up her business, the woman in jeans comes back in. Now watch carefully, because what you're about to see, Sandra can't. The woman in jeans talks to the cashier, then puts down her credit card. She doesn't make a purchase and walks out without realizing she left the card on the counter. Sandra walks up to buy her cigarettes, and while she's waiting, the woman in the pink pants walks out of the store. Only then does Sandra notice the card sitting on the counter, but she doesn't pick it up. Instead, she follows the woman who just left and says she asked her a question.
Did you leave your card?
And she said,
Yes. Got the card, walked over there to the far end of the pump, gave her card, and I went home.
Sandra didn't know it, but she gave the card to the wrong woman, who police allege used it to buy hundreds of dollars in alcohol later that night.
No one ever accused Sandra of using the credit card. In fact, she only held on to it for about 15 seconds. So imagine her surprise when the following week she started to get calls from friends and family asking why she was wanted by police.
who called you first?
My sister, my oldest sister.
There she was, first on the 7th Precinct's Twitter account, then on the popular Crime in the D Instagram page. Both said she was wanted for illegally using someone else's credit card.
I was like, I just went to the store. I just really went to the store.
She knew she didn't steal a credit card, so Sandra, on her own, went to the city's 7th Precinct to try to clear her name.
Thank you for not making me wait.
This is a recording of Sandra's interrogation.
I do have to advise you that you are the focus of the investigation at this time, okay? All right, nobody's trying to ruin your life.
It is already.
So I'm going to read you your rights, okay?
Now, this is important. Moments after Sandra is told she's a suspect, she tells the officer she wants a lawyer.
I need an attorney.
Okay, that's fine.
Cause y'all about to hand me up on something I did not do.
And not just once.
Can I call my mom and have them get me a lawyer real quick? I need an attorney, because this is like, wow.
The officer has Sandra read her Miranda rights, initialing, then signing her name. The officer wrote at 10:54 a.m., the subject refused to make a statement and asked to speak to an attorney. But the interrogation didn't stop. It continued for another 30 minutes, and not just with one officer. Now, there were two.
Miss Wilson, would you like to provide me with a voluntary
I
statement
don't know
today?
what
or
y'all
would you-
want me to tell y'all. I just
Okay.
walked in the gas station and y'all took a picture of me and ruined my life.
Do you
Hold
want
on, you gotta
an-
relax.
Do
I
you
don't know what y'all want me to say.
Then, 15 minutes after Sandra first asked for a lawyer, officers think they finally caught her.
Who do you give that card to, Miss Wilson?
I gave the card to the man behind the counter.
We know that's
Okay.
a lie. We
Who
know.
did I give it to? I said, here's the card. Is this your card? I don't know. I don't know them.
Okay.
Because she says that she gives the card to the clerk, just guessing at what she would do in that situation, they take that as evidence that somehow she's in cahoots with the woman who used the card illegally.
Brandon McNeil is Sandra's attorney, who says officers could have cleared this all up if they'd just shown her the surveillance video instead of just still photos of herself.
This is Sandra's local gas station. This could have been from any day that she went to the gas station.
I can tell you're
I
lying.
didn't
We
do this.
know for a fact you're lying.
No,
We
you don't know for a fact
I have the
nothing because
entire
I'm not
video.
lying. Well, let me see the video because I'm not lying.
By the time the officers were done, Sandra would be arrested and spent the next 3 days in lockup. She'd gone her entire life with no criminal history, but now faced 2 felonies and up to 4 years in prison. She says the charges cost her her job as a security guard.
I worked Monday and Tuesday. They called me on my off day, which Wednesday, and fired me in a car.
For 4 months, Sandra fought to clear her name. In October, the case went to a jury trial where, finally, her nightmare came to an end.
This is unbelievable to me. No trier of fact, even in the light most favorable to the prosecution, could ever think that Miss Wilson is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt.
Before the case could go to the jury, Judge Paul Cusick threw it out.
Absurd and ridiculous and wrong. And this was not a thorough investigation.
Sandra would be acquitted, but today, nearly 2 months later, she hardly feels like she won anything. She never got her job back. Her family and friends still wonder if she did something wrong, and still on social media today are those pictures labeling her a criminal.
And they embarrassed me, humiliated me. I have 49 applications and I can't get a job, okay? That's not fair.